Okay, so like Jaylene explained, personification is when you talk about a thing, an object, like it's a person. They gave us an example on the very first slide. The trees waved goodbye as the bats flew into the moonlight. Yes, Jaylene.
Are we going to do groups today?
We'll probably do this one on our own only because there's not as much that we have to do. It's not like on the other ones where we had 2 or 3 sentences. This one is just one sentence.
Do we do it by ourselves or are you going to do it together?
Like I said a little while ago, Nakai, we're going to do part of this together and part of it on our own. So, in this example, this sentence, the trees waved goodbye as the bats flew into the moon. The trees aren't really waving goodbye. What do you think is happening when they say the trees waved goodbye? What's really happening? Violet?
The wind's making the trees move.
That the wind's making the trees move, but since they kind of go back and forth, it's like when someone waves their hand. Okay? What about this one? Witches' broomsticks. Now I know in the picture they're not doing a whole lot, but what do we use brooms for? Kaylee?
Mr.
Oh, hold on, Kaylee. Yes, yes, Shadeen? What's up?
Sorry, but we can't see where you're presenting.
Can everyone see?
I
Because
can't see the thing. I can't. All I see is you on reading, and I can only see the Halloween illustration and the Halloween
oh, okay.
personifications.
There we go.
There we go. Now I can see it.
Okay. So, witches' broomsticks. We need some personification with the broomstick. What could the broomsticks be doing? Kaylee, you had your hand up. What did you think? What could the broomsticks be doing here?
They can sweep.
Okay, they can sweep. So, if I want to make this personification, I can't just say the broomsticks were sweeping because that's what they're doing. But when they're sweeping, they're kind of going back and forth over the floor. What could I say that the broomsticks were doing? Something that a person might do. Nakai?
Wait. And that you can sweep with it, and that witches use,
Yeah, but if I
and they
say
go
the
on and
broomsticks were
fly.
sweeping, that's what they're doing. So I need to say that they're doing
Oh,
something
they're
that
just
they can't
standing there.
actually do.
They can't fly.
Well, yeah, but neither can people. So that wouldn't make it personification. That would be like birdification. But I want personification. I want them to sound like people. Chase, what's something we could say that the brooms are doing? Because Kaylee brought up a good point. People use them to sweep. So when they're sweeping, we kind of like drag them across the floor, right? Back and forth to pick up all the little crumbs and dirt and dust and whatever else. So what's something that a person might do? Something that they're on the floor and they're kind of moving back and forth. I can't say sweeping. Singing if they were making noise. So if they were like noisy brooms, we could say that they're singing to us, but normally sweeping isn't a super noisy activity. If it was a vacuum cleaner, then I would agree with you. We could say the vacuum cleaner was screaming because sometimes it's super loud. But brooms are pretty quiet. Bella, what do you think?
They they clean up the floor, and we clean ourselves.
Hmm, kind of, but the brooms actually do clean it up, right? They get all that dirt and crumbs and stuff like that. I want to say that they're doing something they can't actually do, like the trees waving. The trees don't really have arms and hands to wave. Jaylene?
The brooms were dancing.
I like that. Because brooms don't really have feet. They can't really sit there and dance, but when you're moving them back and forth across the floor, it's kind of like some people when they're dancing, they move back and forth, right? So here, I'm going to delete this part. And I'm going to say the broom was dancing across the floor. Because really, in real life, a broom can't dance. You would need legs and you would need a brain to think of what to do next. Dance. So a broom can't do that. But people can. So that would make that personification. The other thing I could have said is maybe if no one's using the brooms, like if they're just in the corner, I could say that the broom was sitting in the corner waiting for me. Because really, the broom doesn't have a chair to sit down on. And also, I've never heard of a broom that sits there and is like, Jaylene, it's time to clean, Jaylene. So really, they're not waiting for you. But if I said that, we'd know that we're just saying the broom is in the corner doing nothing, even though we actually said that it's waiting for us. But I like yours dancing because it's just slowly back and forth while it's sweeping up all these crumbs and dust and dirt and things like that. Let's do another one together. A full moon. What is something that the full moon could do? Bella?
Like, you know how some movies have the faces on the moon
Mm-hmm.
and they just watch over us?
Ah,
And then
okay.
whenever the sun comes back up,
So what would my sentence be, Bella? The moon.
watches over us?
I like it. Okay. So the moon was watching us. And I like your thinking. You thought of like sometimes like in cartoons and movies where they show the moon with like eyes and a nose and a face, right? But really, when you look up at night, there's not a big pair of eyes staring at you. It's just the moon. But we could say that the moon was watching us. So it's just hanging up there out in the sky. But you might say that it's watching you. Okay. For number 4, 5, 6. I want you to go ahead and do those ones on your own. So one of them is a candle. One of them is a pumpkin spice latte. And the other one is a pumpkin patch. You want to think of something that they can't really do, but something we might describe them. So we had the idea about the broom dancing across the floor because it's moving back and forth. We had the idea of the moon watching us. It's just hanging out over us. So what could the candle do? What could the pumpkin spice latte do? Or what could the pumpkin patch do? Something they can't do in real life, but we might say that they're doing. And Nakai, I liked your idea from earlier about flying, but remember, it has to be something that a person can do. Because otherwise that's birdification and that's not really a thing. I want personification. Gotta sound like a person. So it could be watching, it could be waiting, it could be talking to you like, hi Nakai, how are you? It could grab you or hold you or hug you. It could yell or scream or shout. It could run or walk or crawl or hide. But it has to be something that it can't really do in real life, but that you're saying it's. Yes, Alexa.
On the candle one, it's not letting me write on it. I've tried to use the text box, it's not working.
So on the candle one, click right after the word candle and see if it gives you that blinky line.
Okay, thank you.
Kylie.
I didn't get to see the witch's broom one.
Oh, okay. Let me put that one up for you.